Hey friends, it's Michele Bowman with EXP, and this evening I am looking at the weekly roundup for this past week. This week's weekly roundup looks like we have in the Triad area, new listings are coming in at 631. There's 828 due diligence and pending listings and 404 closed. That's from last Friday until this Friday, about the same time. So the week prior, just to reflect, we were at 560 new listings, and this week we have 631. So we have 71. We've increased our listing count in a week by 71. I can already tell you that our month supply is increasing just by looking at these numbers. So the week prior, our due diligence and pending was at 717, and this week they are at 828. So we had 111 more properties go under contract this week than the previous week. We're going to dig into these just a little bit. I just want to look at the difference. So last week we had 468 closed, and this week we've only had 104 closed. So they're just waiting to go to the closing table. So that's a 64 unit difference. So I can tell from looking at this, with the increase in listings, we're getting more properties on the market. The ones that have gone under contract, with the increase in due diligence and pending, that is a lot of homes being sold. So just put that in your thought processes. When people worry that we are, in a slowing market, or, the market may be shifting, that's not what the data is showing. I mean, I think, did it take a hit when all of the National Association of Realtors, which most buyers don't give two hoots about the National Association of Realtors stuff. However, when that was coming out and all the agents was explaining, you have to sign a buyer's agency to see a property. You may have to pay your own buyer's agency expense. When all of that initially came out, there was industry shock, and I have no doubt about that. There was industry shock. However, here we are, right at 1 month in, and it looks like we're back to business. Business is moving great. So yeah, we are, what was it? In the Triad, we are down, hold on. I got too many numbers in front of me. So we are down 64 closings for this week. However, it'll fluctuate every week. It'll fluctuate, so it's not a big deal. What I like seeing is the new listings coming on the market in the Triad and the ones going under contract in the Triad. That shows that we have sellers that are willing to sell, and we have buyers that are willing to buy. And as long as me as an agent can guide everyone in that process, sellers selling, buyers buying, then we are going to have a beautiful market. So that's for the Triad. Now let's flip over to the Charlotte and surrounding areas, because I also track the numbers as well. So we'll start with last week, the previous week. So our previous new listings was 1457. Our previous due diligence and pending was 1818. And our previous closed was 253. Now, I will say that my previous due diligence and pending, that number was not for the week. That number was for, I don't know what the time was. It was open time. There was no time limit on that. So that was the number of due diligence and pending that was in the Charlotte and surrounding areas all of them at that time. And I'm trying to keep this to a 7-day window. So my numbers here are not going to be correct, because that number is for all of time and all the Triad with no restrictions on time. So all that to say, 1457 new listings as of last Friday. As of this Friday, we have 1497. So that is what, 40? Of course I can think of it. Yeah, 40. So that's 40 new listings in the last 7 days. Then we've seen the previous 7 days from last week. So there's more properties going on the market in the Charlotte and surrounding areas. I don't have an actual number for due diligence and pending over here because it was, like I said, it's messed up. However, for the last 7 days, I can tell you that the Charlotte and surrounding areas have 339 due diligence and pending. So they've got 339 properties gone under contract in the last 7 days. You know what? The benefit of having all this great technology that my husband puts on here for me is that I can actually check this. I want to check that, because I find it hard to believe that the Triad has had more than twice what, so for the last 7 days, I find it hard to believe the Triads had more than twice of what the Charlotte area have had. So let's check this number real quick. So the Triad's due diligence and pending for the last 7 days is 350, 45. Okay, it's 828. So that number is correct. Now let's check. Let's flip over here and we're going to check Charlotte and surrounding areas. So under contract, no show, the last 7 days, it says 339. I mean, it's North Carolina only. I mean, it says 339. So the Triad has actually, they have they've done more than double, by about 100. More than double than the Charlotte area. So I'm sorry I squirreled, but I just couldn't believe that number would be an odd number. I would not have expected that. Okay. And in the previous 7 days in Charlotte for closed, they had 253. And then for the last 7 days, you know, week ending 9/13, which is today, 261. So that is, I can't do this math, it's 8. So they've closed 8 more the last 7 days than they did in the previous report. All right, so it looks like the market is, regardless, is in a good place. Sellers are selling and buyers are buying. So if you're interested in a property in the Triad or in the Charlotte and surrounding areas, give me a call. I would love to help you with that. This is Michelle with eXp Realty, and I hope that you have a great weekend. It's Friday night. Have a good weekend, y'all. Take care.